Welcome back to another video with your boy Rager University, and today's video is gonna be about this guy. Look at him; he's pretty cool, right? If you guys don't know, one of the first videos that really got traction on my channel was about X. So I felt very fitting that me coming back, my revival, my first real video should be about him. More on a personal note, maybe, because I've made videos going into his life, his music, very in depth. I know a lot about this guy, but I kind of wanted to talk more about my personal connection, which I have touched on in other videos. But I don't know, I just wanted to really talk about it today, and I felt like my coming back to YouTube was going to be more about how I felt in the moment, not try to make super strategic decisions, kind of just what I wanted to talk about and going to talk about it. It's pretty simple, you know what I mean? I'm not overthinking it this time. Yeah. So to really understand my love for X, it kind of has to start in high school.
I'm just saying that I'm slaying. No, I ain't playing for the fun of it. I have a ton of it. Yeah, I'm running it. Betcha I could ball for my whole life. I'm the bomb like an airstrike. Everybody asks.
Yeah, when I was growing up, not too many things piqued my interest, and I'm not acting like I was like cool anime guy in the background or something, just waiting for something. But a lot of things just didn't really connect with me growing up. While my peers were obsessed with basketball and trying to dunk, I didn't care at all about it. To be fair, like I like basketball, but like I like watching it more. Like I didn't really want to play it per se. But music, that was something that always resonated with me. It was something that just made sense. I can understand why people went into deep debates about music. It didn't even have to just be about rap music, any music. Like it's the stuff we listen to, it's the stuff that literally is the soundtrack of our lives. I understood it well. I understood the fascination with it on a fan level. As someone just listening to it, it's just someone who loves the craft. That is what interested me growing up. If you went to like 2012 or something, you saw that person. If you went to like 2012 or something, you will find like a little rager in a cave somewhere reciting Eminem lyrics. Like it would be that deep. Like the fascination with music and me just goes years at this point. I'm a seasoned vet at this point when it comes to just loving music, enjoying what it is and what it means to people. I was that kid who would be dying for the day to be over just so I could immerse myself in whatever I considered my favorite album at that time. I remember back in like '09, I literally like stole my sister's iPod. It was a pink little iPod. I meant borrowed. Shout out to Lyric and Anna. Love y'all. I stole that joint just to download music on it. I was living bad. I was living rough. I was a tough little 9-year-old or something. But yeah, somewhere along me loving music in the journey, I fell in love with heavy on the controversial artist named X, or XXXTENTACION.
I need you to pronounce your name, please.
Yo, all right. XXXTENTACION.
Okay. So what do you want me to call you?
Just call me X.
I will call you X. What does that mean?
Young Dagger Dick or X?
I could imagine what Young Dagger Dick means. X.
All right. So XXXTENTACION means unknown temptation. As far as the X, the significance of the X, for some time the X was the only unknown numeral to me. So it was it played as like, it's like being John, like John Doe. You get what I'm saying? John Doe stands for unknown. So
okay, X is the variable, like the wild card.
As in unknown. So temptation is tentacion is temptation in Latin. So I actually just pushed the two together in unknown temptation because I feel as if that's what my life revolves around.
His music often explored themes of depression, anxiety, and inner turmoil within himself. It resonated deeply with many listeners. I wasn't original. It was millions of us who loved this guy. He just was so different. Just like everything about him was so original. Truly one of a kind. At the same time, though, as he was growing in popularity, he would face legal issues and criticism for his behavior, which, all in all, added to his complex legacy. Depending on who you are, you might think this is heavy glaze. I might just be a super X fan, whatever. But let me cook, ladies and gentlemen. X changed the way I digested / listened to music. Prior to X, I had a real deep reservation about new artists that were coming onto the scene. Not even just rap, but in like everything. I was convinced nothing could beat the classics. The old was better than the new ideology, which is low-key crazy that I had, being that I've discovered X when I was like 16, 17 or something. I was hooked on the old stuff. I grew up and deemed no one could be better than Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, or Eminem or Kanye. Like I couldn't see it. I feel like we peaked in hip hop. Like I feel like no way, no new artist I could possibly like more than these guys. Like Wayne was literally calling himself the best rapper of all time. Like I just believed it. I don't know. I don't know. He was very convincing, bro. Go back to like 2010, 2009, 2008, like Lil Wayne, like very convincing, bro. But boy, was that dumb kid wrong, in his own way. I still love those guys, but there was so much more to offer in the future. More to look towards in the future, too. Regardless, I say all this to say, X sort of broke down how I saw new artists and the new industry and the new lot of people coming in to rap. Just everything he did was such of himself, so original. He had these insane, where he's doing these crazy, insane stage dives that look like he wants to, wants to be in a circus or something. Just a daredevil. These crazy mosh pit that look like if you get stuck in one, you might get hurt or something. Like it was crazy. He just wasn't like anyone I ever seen before. Like I legitimately had no one really to compare him to. Even now, I still I hear people compare him to certain people, and I'm just like, nah, I don't really. He was so different. Like there's no comp for him, bro. I don't know. It's sort of like when Victor Wembanyama came into the league. It was kind of like, who is this guy supposed to be? He's like 7'2" and he shoots like a guard. Like, I don't know. This guy's not real. He's from a different planet or something. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It was just unprecedented. A lot of his early music was just so loud and just so grainy. It was just weird. The production value just wasn't there. But so much screaming too. I loved it, man. But he would grow in popularity and get better equipment and better resources, and he would thrive. He would talk more about depression and mental illness as he would get popularity. And honestly, that was when I knew I was hooked 100%, because it just felt like no one at the time was talking about it. I'm going through my personal struggle or whatever. Everybody has their own, but he was voicing a lot of things that I, as a 17, 18-year-old was feeling. The mental illness, the heartbreak, is just resonated with your boy, and I'm sure it resonated with you guys too. Going to drop one of my favorite albums of all time currently, 17, which would honestly become a soundtrack of like my high school life. Honestly, I still play it today. Got fingers on it, bro. Listen to 17 if you haven't listened to 17, bro. It's good. That's how X solidified place as one of my favorite artists from that generation, thus changing the way I viewed music, heard music, probably for the rest of my life. But while the music was great, let's talk about the guy. I feel like that should be a whole different video. But regardless, I'll put some in this. Mostly when any media outlet described him, they would use the same word that I said earlier. It starts with a C, ends in versal. Yeah, controversial. And yeah, it's controversial. They always said he was controversial all the time. It's controversial artist from Florida. Whatever. Gets in a fight, yada yada. But the blogs and websites and countless articles Obviously, I was a fan, so it was a little hard to hear someone give him a bad rap. Made me feel away back then. Definitely back then. Like, honestly, I can't even lie. He was controversial. Like, it was ridiculous. Him having one of his biggest songs blow up while he was behind bars, controversial. And what is he behind bars for? A domestic case? That's controversial. Like, it is. You know, he was accused of doing some atrocious things. Then for him to get out of jail immediately and start beefing with Drake. Controversial. Like, you know, Drake is now and arguably then the biggest rapper of all time. Why is my flash on? Like, he was playing with fire. He was constantly fighting, and he even traded blows with the Migos. Do I really have to keep saying it? Anyway, mind you, he was still a kid doing all of this. It just was crazy. It was a crazy time. This guy went from underground rapper to superstar. And it felt like it was overnight. You know, I do feel like he was definitely a media go-to, super controversial, all that, whatever. But I kind of want to talk about a side that isn't represented often when they discuss X. He was a troubled soul with the past, like us all. But he was also a goofball. Dude was jokes. Bro was funny. I feel like people don't talk about that enough anymore. He cared strongly for the people around him. He was very family-centered, very proud of his music, and very proud of his connection with the fans. Ask anybody. People know X cared so much about his following, a lot more than the artist, at least vocalize it. You know, he was aware of his shortcomings and was genuinely trying. He was aiming to be better than he was yesterday, all the time. You know, he acknowledged the fans, which I feel like a lot of rappers don't do nowadays because they think it's not cool. But X did it because he wanted to, and he knew he wouldn't be anywhere without his fan base.
Doors open so you don't need to knock it. And if you're trying to be the same level as me, you better step up your game as a stunner. Cause I'm a what? A runner. So many stacks I can build up a fort. So many checks I don't know what they for.